It's Salvaje and I'm back with another Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review. So this is my in-depth weapon review for the candy corn. I've been using the candy corn pretty much ever since it came out. I've used them multiple times with different loadouts, which is why, just like with the ghost pistol, I'm only going to be showing just one gameplay of the candy corn LMG. And just like all my reviews, I'm just gonna get straight to the point when it comes down to what the weapon has to offer. So this LMG actually isn't that bad, specifically if you're a brand new starting player that just wants to get a legendary weapon that's going to be able to offer up some value. From now on in my in-depth weapon reviews, I'm also going to be talking about defenders, and I just want to point out that the Candy Corn LMG is a really good weapon for defenders because after you eliminate a couple of husks, there's a small chance that it might release candy, and this candy when picked up is going to heal you. So if you have a defender on a 4-time mission or on an endgame mission, the Candy Corn LMG can definitely add some value when it comes down to the way you set up your defenses. That's probably one of my favorite things about the Candy Corn LMG because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge fan of this weapon. Personally, I think how a weapon feels definitely dictates how I feel about a weapon, and to be honest, this weapon just feels really squishy to me. Like, it just never really felt as if it did a lot of damage. Honestly, the way that this weapon shoots just feels really weak, and I feel like when I shoot this weapon it just doesn't really do enough damage, right? Of course, in my in-depth weapon reviews, I do like to add a personal, a couple of personal preferences and opinions, just so that I can tell you guys where I stand. But I do want to point out the weapon does some pretty decent damage, but if you compare it to other top tier assault rifles that we have gotten in Fortnite Save the World, like the Gamatron 9000, like the Pain Train, like the Wraith assault rifle, which is not part of the base game, the Candy Corn LMG doesn't really offer a lot of value. In fact, I would say that it's a mediocre weapon that you might not want to waste your perk up on, because that's definitely one of the most important factors when it comes down to my weapon reviews, right? For me to tell you guys if it's worth leveling the weapon up and if it's worth, of course, putting your perk up into it. It also has a 10% base critical hit chance, which means that a critical rating, critical damage build with this weapon will be a waste of perk up because you're not going to be getting the critical damage hits to trigger as often. And sure, the weapon does have 100 bullets in the magazine, but the weapon has terrible hip fire. And there are other weapons out there that are going to be giving you more value than the Candy Corn LMG, like the base game weapon Terminator or the Wraith assault rifle. Another thing that makes the Candy Corn LMG really mediocre is that it's locked into the physical elements. So I'm not 100% sure on the numbers, guys, so I do apologize for that. But from my understanding, a physical weapon is only going to be doing 55% of its total damage against an elemental husk, which means that when you use the Candy Corn LMG at the endgame levels of play, at the intermediate levels of play, you're always going to be at a huge disadvantage because your weapon is not going to be doing 100% of its total damage, which means that the base game weapon like the Terminator or the Wraith assault rifle is definitely the superior choice to actually go with. So when it comes down to the star rating, I'm just going to give the Candy Corn LMG a 2 out of 5 star. There's a lot of great choices out there, and quite honestly, the biggest value that this weapon provides is the healing that you can get if you give the weapon to a defender. But in my eyes, that's not really enough to give it a 3 out of 5 star, which means that the weapon is pretty average and very playable. I know this is a fan favorite when it comes down to some of the people in the community, and some people might disagree with my rating, but after all, it is my Candy Corn LMG weapon review. So as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below, and I'll be seeing y'all on the next one. Peace.